In this video, I go through a quick little game review or VOD review of me playing Hecarim in the jungle. Now, the game ends up being a win. It's this game here, 4-9 and 14, but I end up not having that much impact and actually get out-jungled by the Kindred. So I firstly am doing this VOD review to show you, one, how easy it is to review your own games and quickly spot easy mistakes. Two, because even though I won the game, I knew I'd play badly, so I need to figure it out. And three, in the game review itself, I actually go through some really core jungling concepts that are really easy to forget, or little tips and tricks that we sometimes don't think about that can actually make a really big difference. I also explain some really big jungle concepts about how to play from behind and how to play from ahead, establishing leads, closing leads if playing from behind. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Alright, so I really want to look at the early game in particular because I guess this is almost like two-dimensional thinking that happens here when I do this. So the first problem is I focus so hard on the Blitzcrank invade that I don't really think about what Kindred is doing. So we'll watch this play out. So I tell my bot lane to go ward Tribush and I go ward here so that Blitzcrank can't invade us. Now that's fine. However, I'm not sure what they do here, but they must get a ward on me because I end up starting blue buff, right? I end up starting blue buff because I want to play opposite side of the map to Kindred. So quickly, when you're jungling and you are in this is plat 1 elo. So when you're in a certain elo, when you're at your true rank or close to your true rank, you have to respect certain matchups. And this matchup, it's Hecarim versus Kindred, where Hecarim doesn't really win pre-6. And even at 6, it's still a little bit iffy, particularly on how the early game goes. So that's what I wanted to see firstly. They ward that. Okay. Cool. So they ward that and I don't respect that at all. When in reality, what I should have done, because I went sweepers, I should have actually used my sweepers here. Knowing that they didn't invade here, I should have assumed, okay, they've got a Blitzcrank, right? And they've got a really strong level 1. There is no way that they're not gonna, they're not gonna not utilize the level 1 Blitzcrank. So that's my first problem. Okay, so they've got that warded. Interesting. So the first mistake, you'll see it play out here. I asked for Vladimir to leash. I actually asked him not to use his Q, but it doesn't actually matter. So there we go. I do the leash thinking, oh, this is going to be completely fine. So I almost big brain this. So I'm completely unaware of this ward. I almost big brain this in the fact that I deliberately started blue because I thought Kindred was going to start here. And so I'm playing opposite side of the map jungling. So when you have you're in a weak jungle matchup, you want to play opposite side of the map to that jungler as long as possible so that you can avoid them, but also so that, let's say they gank bot lane, you can gank top lane. Let's say they gank top lane, you can gank bot lane without them being there. And that's the super important thing because you eliminate the weakness in the matchup if you, I call it cross-map counterplay. So basically, whatever the jungler does on one side of the map, you do the other thing. And it's really effective in weak matchups. And it was going to go really well, but I went too big brain and thought I could do 2 camps at once. Kindred sees this very cleverly, sees this, and punishes me for this. Now, let's look, even at this point in time, I think I could have saved my life. So, I wasn't expecting Kindred to come, but I think I could have put the Gromp here, and it might have made the difference here. But instead, she gets the smite off, which is smart, because I smite blue buff, she flashes, I ghost, and that's my early game done. She takes 1 wolf, which is fine. That's all good. Now, I immediately go, okay, Irelia just died. This is looking really bad. We're 0-2 at 2 minutes. They've got, almost a 1k gold lead at 2 minutes 30. So, what do you do in this stage as a jungler? Go back to farming and try and play catch up. Go back to the original plan of, I still want to avoid this Kindred, but now you really want to avoid the Kindred because she has gold on you. She has a lot of gold on you. So, we can do that. Cool. Sorry, let me get back to that. Cool. So I go back to normal farming, trying to play catch up, clearing my whole bot side. And notice I do this little trick. So when you stand here and there's a mid-wave crashing, you can get the XP for this mid-wave. So it's a little trick when you're trying to play catch-up and you're trying to min-max. Always kill your raptors at this place. But try and not do it when your mid lane's there because you'll leech XP from them. But if you don't want to reveal yourself, but you still want to get the XP of mid lane, sit here and you'll get the XP of pretty much every minion that dies. So I go this. I now can pretty much assume that Kindred's bot side. That makes sense. So I just go for a full clear bot. I know I can't contest this bot scuttle, so I will actually go up here. One, because I see Blitzcrank. So there's some key. Let's go back here. Let's go back. So I was thinking bot scuttle could be mine. But what we see is Blitzcrank immediately walk off. Now, what this says to me is not necessarily that Kindred is here, but it suggests that they have Prio. And you can quickly see, I don't even have to hover over to this, that I can see they have Prio. So, one, I know I am behind this Kindred already. And two, I know my bot lane doesn't have Prio. So I'm going to avoid this scuttle completely. So what would you do at this stage after you kill these Krugs? You've got a few options, and I'll let you think about them for a little bit. I'll just kind of jump around the map, thinking of, you know, what potential options there are. So, there's a few options. One, gank here. I mean, we've seen Kindred, so technically this could be on. Two, you can't really contest this scuttle. It's too late. I would have had to go for that. Three, you can try and come up here, pressure Kindred, but all that's going to do is waste time and allow her to get priority on top scuttle. So I believe I give up this bot lane. I don't look for a gank because they're now missing. And so I immediately go top. I think the two valid options were, one, go to bot lane and gank, but we knew Kindred was still bot side. So instead I chose to take top, particularly because Irelia has Prio. And so I realized that my wolves are kind of taken. And so I take that, which is fine. Now, the next macro play where I make a mistake is interesting. And you'll see it soon. So usually when you see the enemy jungler, you can try and take something from them. But because she was there, I was here, I can't really take anything on the map. So we now know Kindred's top side. She's still yet to spend her money, which I wasn't aware of in the game review. She took my big wolf, as we can see. So, again, I'm pretty far behind. 34 to 26, but I am playing catch-up. I'm still, 600 gold, but I have reduced that by about 200, 300 gold. So, I am playing catch-up, even though I'm still behind. And the longer the game goes, the less and less gold. So, like a 1k deficit at 2 minutes is a much bigger deal than a 1k deficit at, let's say, 5 minutes. So, the fact that, yes, I'm behind. Yes, I got killed. If you can just make sure that you don't lose any more or keep reducing your losses to as little as possible, it means that that 1k lead that Kindred got, as long as she can't extend that lead, you actually slowly close the gap as the game goes on, because 1k at 2 minutes isn't as strong or as powerful as 1k at 5 minutes, 1k at 10 minutes, 1k at 20 minutes. So remember that as well when you're playing behind. Don't give up. I got invaded. I haven't given up. I'm not tilted. We're 1 and 2. I really got back a solo kill. So, Dragon is immediately up, and I know I can't contest this. So, Kindred, I think, pings on her way because she's wanting to get Prio. So, as a jungler who's behind, I know I can't really take this Cloud Dragon. Even though my mid laner just got Prio, I come round thinking this is going to be really smart. But this kill would have been on if I positioned better. So here's another mistake I make, not playing vision correctly. So let's slow this down. Speed it up. So I know we've got a control ward in here, but she hears my ghost. I showed him vision. I should have hugged this brush instead. And then this whole gank comes off. When in reality, if I got this gank off, this would have been Dragon. My bot lane has Prio because they're getting back to lane now. So that would have been a free Cloud Drag. So there's my second kind of big mistake of the game. Now I'm kind of lost here. I don't really know what to do. Do I contest this? No, I'm level 5. So at this point, I realize I'm level 5. She's level 6. Even if bot lane's even, They're level 4, they're level 5. This dragon is not going to end well for our team. So I know I'm behind, and I'm now going, okay, if Kindred's bot side, it looks like she wants priority. I'm going to give that dragon because 1, it's the first drag. 2, it's a cloud drag. And 3, I'm behind. So I need to play like I'm behind. I can't play like I'm ahead. Okay, sorry, food just arrived. So I have to give this up. And I know it, and I'm not getting tilted. So I come back and I just, again, keep playing catch up. Reduce this deficit, reduce this deficit, reduce this deficit. Get my XP back. Catch up, catch up, catch up. Now, I ping Irelia off this. So this is another key moment in the game where I can get tilted. However, I do a quick analysis. I ping her off it. She doesn't get off it. So I'm like, okay, I'm probably going to have to give this to her. In the game at the time, I was split 50-50 about... Fuck, I'm level 5 right now. I need level 6. This is going to give me level 6. I need to get level 6. In reality, I don't really need to get level 6. I don't really have, dragons are not contestable, so the level 6 race is kind of off. Yes, level 6 will help me in my jungle and with my first gank of the game, given that it's 7 minutes and I still haven't ganked. Neither has Kindred really, so that again is even. But in the end, I give it to her, as you can see, a few reasons. 1, I know that, yeah, I'm not level 5, I'm not level 6, and this will give me level 6, but it doesn't really matter because there's nothing on the map for me to use that level 6 power spike. 2, I really just got a solo kill. So she has, or 2 solo kills. She has a lot of potential to carry this game, so I end up giving it to her. So, and 3, Irelia, you usually do want to give your second blue buff to your mid laner if you can. So I end up giving it to her. She unfortunately loses it in a little bit. She doesn't really respect. I mean, Blitzcrank roams. We don't really see the roam. She jumps into the Echo W. I try and save her, but at this point I know it's doomed. So notice how I don't really overcommit. I do jump in, but I try and do a defensive charge. So I'm not doing an aggressive charge so that I end up here. Instead, I'm doing a defensive charge and trying to push one of them into the lane. Unfortunately, Echo dodges it, so well played. Again, notice how I'm sitting. So I'm collecting this XP while sitting here. So I know nothing's on here, but I know they have a control ward here, so I take the control ward to try and, again, regain some bot lane prior. Because, yes, my bot lane's not really winning, but if I can try and just get a little bit of priority, try and reset this mid lane for this Irelia, it's all good. Now, this is the best macro and smartest macro I've seen from a Kindred or from an enemy jungler I've versed. So, and this all starts from that first jungle take. She takes this, she knows she has priority. She gets first scuttle, she knows she has dragon priority. She hits level 6 first, she knows she has the level 6 advantage because she sees me level 5. She takes dragon, priority bot lane's even, mid lane priority's even. The only differing factor is she's ahead of me. Therefore, she gets dragon priority. She takes it, solos it, smart. You can do that with Kindred, especially at level 6. You can do that with any jungler at level 6. Now, what she does is, because dragon is taken, and because my red buff is spawning now, think about what else is spawning on the map right now. So, let's go back a bit and actually focus on my next mistake of this game that I completely forgot to mention. So, what do we know about this current situation right now? Think back to the first buff I took. I took this blue buff. Now, think about what buff was Kindred taking? Her red buff, right? So, therefore, her red buff is spawning at the same time as my blue buff. I know this for a fact from the start of the game. However, I was so focused on playing catch up that I never thought to counter jungle. So I'm behind, I'm playing like a sheep, and I didn't think, hey, hang on, I can actually counter jungle here. And again, cross map counterplay. I know she's taking dragon. It's gone right now. What I should have done is actually even come back further here. Before they take the dragon, I should have gone straight to a red buff. We've got a ward on it. I know she's got bot lane prior, and I know she's going to take this dragon. So why don't I do it? One main reason, I'm playing too timid. So yes, when you're behind, you have to respect, but My game plan was cross-map counterplay, and I completely threw it out the window because I should be doing something on the opposite side of the map. This should not be free because I know exactly where she is. Therefore, that information provides me with, I can gank top, I can gank mid, I can take 2 camps off her and play catch up. First dragon isn't that important. Therefore, if I can take 2 camps off her, that's actually a pretty good trade. And because I'm behind, I should be happy with that. Instead, I make this mistake. I completely forget about it. And that whole situation might have actually prevented Irelia's death in hindsight. If she didn't come get blue buff, she wouldn't have lost lane priority here. I would have been able to take these, and then I would have actually been able to get my buff for my own. And this fight never would have occurred. So, notice what Kindred does. Goes topside. Takes her topside camps. I go bot side because, hey, I don't have any topside camps, so I can't do anything. So what do? I waste time. I can take control. This is perfect indicator for Kindred. I have prio. I'm on top side. He has just cleared his bot side because we saw Irelia with a blue buff. Therefore, my top side's gone. I have no reason to be top side. She has top side priority. Perfect macro by the enemy Kindred. Takes dragon. Takes my blue buff. First, good macro because I was on a ward. Takes dragon. Takes Rift Herald. Super smart by this Kindred. Really well played. Could I have foreseen it? Yes, if I was thinking properly. Preventable to an extent. So what do? I know she's now taking Rift. I see the control ward on the map. So I go bot lane. Hey, let's try and do something. Luckily, they go in here. My ult is... Okay, let's actually slow this down because this fight's kind of important. So Blitzcrank starts BMing, which I know pretty much means he thinks he's got dominance over this lane. So a few key things happen. Irelia pings on her way. She has prio. 1. 2. We know where Kindred is. She's not coming into that fight. 3. Blitzcrank is BMing, meaning he's aggressive, he's cocky, he wants to go in, he wants to disrespect. And 4. What is this wave situation? Red is pushing into blue. Perfect first gank opportunity for a jungler who is behind. Let's watch it play out. Bot lane plays it really well. Perfect. My ult was kind of shit, but I bait out Vayne's ult and her first Q. Now, what is the key piece of information in this game? This looks like a failed gank, right? Kai'Sa's back here. I've used all my spells. Vayne's pretty much full health. Karma's here. I get hooked. Karma shields me like a boss. Kai'Sa heals me. Really good teamwork. Who's here to clean up? Irelia. A perfect gank set up from when you're playing behind. This won't happen every game, but you need to make sure that, yes, if you know someone's taking something on the opposite map, try and set something up. As luck would have it, this was a perfect wave scenario and a perfect game scenario for us to take this gank, but still, you've got to make sure you're still capitalizing. So, that's pretty much all I wanted to review. The rest of the game is pretty much back and forth teamwork. I keep kind of playing a bit too sheepish, but those are the main points I wanted to get from this. So quickly, to recap this. 1, think in 2 dimensions when you're thinking about the level 1. Think in the first dimension of, okay, they've got, let's say their team comp. They've got a Blitzcrank, they want to invade. That's the first dimension. Second dimension, okay, if we prep for that invade, and they don't do it, that means they're either AFK in base, which is a possibility, or 2, they have done something else. Now, what else can they do? We have both entrances to the bot side covered. The only other play they could have done is gotten vision in my top jungle or went for an invade, or both, which they kind of did. I didn't foresee that. First game of the day, I haven't played jungle in a couple of days, so 2 main factors. Quickly on like why you should always focus on one role and why you should try and play a warm-up game. Like on a smurf, on a normal game. Because those 2 factors probably decided whether I died or not here and probably decided whether or not I got macro outplayed. Now, lucky because I've been playing the game 10 years, I play jungle a lot, I was able to kind of recoup and not stay too far behind in this game. But super important point there. 2, macro from the start. This Kindred plays this early game perfectly. It's a shame she couldn't get more ganks off because our bot lane was like holding their own, and this is why it's important of good teammates. Our bot lane was holding its own, and Irelia was kind of winning the mid lane. So, really good. Third one is if you're playing from behind, yes, you play from behind, but that doesn't mean you can't counter jungle if you know where the enemy jungler is. If you know where the enemy jungler is, I knew she was taking dragon. We could tell by how Blitzcrank was posturing, etc., etc. We could tell because she had a lead. I should take something on the map that I know I can get for free, or at least as a trade-off. Second one. And 3. Setting up ganks even when behind. It's important. Yes, I farmed for like the first 9 minutes of this game, but I knew that Kindred wasn't ganking that much. She was going for the macro game, which was smart because she had a lead. She couldn't see ganks on, so she decided to go, okay, I can't gank mid, I can't really gank bot. I'm a Kindred, you know, my gank isn't that strong. I'm going to do what else I can take and, you know, keep my advantage. I'm going to take dragon, take Rift. She executes it perfectly. Luckily, I get this gank off because it really sets up our Irelia and our Kai'Sa. And that's all I wanted to review on this game. This is how easy it is to review your own games as well. Like, yeah, you know your own playstyle, but you can quickly identify, I won this game, but I know I didn't play well. Sometimes the games where you win, but you know you didn't play well, are the best games to watch because you can see at what points you could have contributed to helping that game become an easier win, or make sure that you're actually contributing to the team. So, hope you enjoyed this quick little early game review and understand the importance of some like min-maxing jungle tips, but also how you can build a macro advantage from your very first buff.